comment, so maybe I could just post this. There's an invite if you guys would want to come on with me. And hopefully I would be able to see everything that's going on. You notice I've got my big old magnifying glass because I've got the screen so far away. So let me see what time it is. Hey, yay! I'm still on time. Yoo-hoo! So I'm excited today because I wanted to just really share some different things about the brushes and stuff that I use, because that seems to be where a lot of people are sort of getting messed up. It's just that they just don't know what kind of brushes to use. And so I just wanted to make for sure that I can go and share the brushes that I use and, why I use them. And I know that I've covered some of this before, and some of you all may have, you've taken my classes, so you know which ones I use often. But, there's also some tricks and stuff that I like to use that are very inexpensive and, I feel like will help help you guys keep the expense down. And basically everything that I use, like if I have you to buy paint, I use that paint. And we mix colors. If we need other colors to use, then we just mix them so that you're not buying a bunch of extra paint and stuff. So if there's anybody, yay, I see a comment. No, that was mine. So, okay, ladies, I hope that y'all can see me. I hope that I'm in the group. Lord, please let me be in the group. Let me see if I am. I don't see myself in the group. I do not. If you guys can see me, I'd appreciate you letting me know. But I don't see that I'm going live here. If you guys can see me, please just put a comment in there. Anybody, anything. Let me see if I can just. Okay. Okay, I'm way down here. So I actually, if you all look, I do have to scroll down a little bit in the group to see that I am live. And if you can see me, I'd appreciate a comment just to let me know. But it is 10:30, and maybe some of y'all can come on live. It's 10:33. So I'm just going to get started here. And it says that I'm live. For whatever reason, now I can see it on my phone, but it looks like I'm maybe froze on that group. So I'm just going to do what I do, and hopefully it's recording good and you guys can see. Okay, so I wanted to discuss my brushes again. Okay, I'm going to switch my camera so you guys could see. I just got like construction paper. This, I buy this at Walmart, and it's very reasonable. I think I gave maybe $5 for like 100 sheets of this. This is perfect to paint on, especially, if I go live and stuff, like in my YouTube channel when I do some things. It just really shows up. The paint does really bright on this black especially roses and stuff like that. But I'm hoping because I got this, you guys might be able to see. I'm going to just get out some of my favorite brushes that I use and discuss why I use them. Where is my, here's my script line. Okay. So I've got, of course, I've got different sizes. And okay, these have suddenly become my friends. And most of the technique that I had learned, we never go into water with. And if you guys have taken my classes, many of you know that I don't go into water with a lot of it. But to do backgrounds and stuff, these brushes have been life-saving. And I love it because it will give you, it just really gives you a real smooth transition. If, say, for instance, if you're doing clouds and you want to start off maybe with a dark blue, but then you want to come in with white. And the gradation that happens with these brushes is so awesome that it just really helps you to blend those colors to make them look so much more natural. And so these are called, I'm using them as mop brushes, but these are actually makeup brushes. And I got every one of these, I think, for like maybe $6 or $7. And I use them all, and I like it because I have more than, one or two. So when I'm in the middle of a painting, that I don't have to like clean a brush. These are literally mop brushes. And so because of that, let me see if I can, sorry, I've got other things on that I should have turned off. Hold on just a second. Let me get that off of there. Let me mute that. Let me mute really quick and I will. I'm hoping that was the one. So, but with these mop brushes, they're literally mop brushes. They hold a lot of water. And so because of that, it's very hard to just like dip it down in water and then, you have paint on and you're trying to clean if you don't have more than one. So what I do is usually if I use one, I get it all dirty. I've got a place I can just put it in there. I don't have to worry about trying to dry it out and use it again if I want to do something else. So that's why I recommend more than one. And like I said, I probably gave a whole $6 or $7 for these. I don't remember. I think I bought these on Temu like 3 years ago or something like that. But they've held up really, really well. So this is my mop brushes. This brush, now the brushes I use the most are these three brushes. This is a 1-inch flat. This is a number 12, I believe. I have some smaller. Let's see, I've got a 12, a 10, and an 8 in these. And usually these come in a pack. These are one-stroke brushes, and they will come in a pack, usually of 10. Or you can buy just 3. I think it comes, I know Amazon's got them like for $11.99 now for the big flat one, the smaller flat one, and a script liner. And that's really actually a good deal because, and these brushes, they last, if you take care of them, they will last you for years. I've got some of these brushes I've had for over 20 years. So they're excellent brushes. The key is to not get the paint up. This is called a ferrule. The key is not to get paint up in this ferrule. So when we load our brushes, I usually tell everyone 3/4 of the way full. So about right here is all that you want to load it. You want it to stop. And so it's with every one of these. And I've got this called a basin. And basically you can see like down in there, it's got little grates. So when I go to clean brushes, I can rub these brushes across the grate and get that paint out of the brush, which is a way to take care of them. After I wash my brushes and stuff out, I always like shape them. And then with the same basin, it has places where you can hold it. This thing here is probably $4 or $5. And I'm telling you, it will save your brushes, and it's amazing. And you can see I've got a lot more brushes in there, but these are the ones I basically use. This is this is the number 10, I believe. Uh, yeah, this is actually number 8, I believe. This is a number 10. This is a number 12. And then my big flat brush, my 1 inch. Now, just about everything I do, I use these brushes every time I paint. Now, a scruffy brush, I don't. Now, scruffy is, it could be used as the mop, but it holds a lot of water and a lot of paint. So with this, I usually do, I can do like grasses, I can do trees and stuff. I love doing moss, and like I like to do vases and do moss and stuff and have it to go over like the sides of the vase or even on the ground. And so this is a scruffy brush. This is what I do a snowman with, when you need something that looks fuzzy. This is what I use. This is my scruffy brush. I have a large one, and then I got a little teeny tiny one. And so these brushes are probably, again, when you buy there's a pack that is sold. I think they're like maybe $21 or something on Amazon, and you get 10 of these, and you usually get the big one. I'm pretty sure you get the little one, and you get, I think, 2 script liners and all of the flat brushes I'm telling you about. And it's a 10-piece. So anyway, so that's the brushes that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put them all back in here so I know that one I'm going to leave out. So today I just thought I would sort of demonstrate some of how these brushes, um, how you can use them. And then what I love also too, you can see these also have become my friends because uh, they will let you really cover a surface very, very quickly. But I mean, like for sunflowers, I do a lot of sunflowers. This is perfect for the center of a sunflower. This is perfect for if you got the big one. You could do a snowman. You could do, I don't know. You could do, I've done Christmas ornaments with it. Anything that's round that you want to paint, these are excellent. And I got a whole big bag. I'm talking like probably 12 of these for $4 or $5 on Amazon. And they wash up really, really good. And you can use them over and over and over again. So basically, and then this right here, this is an old toothbrush. And to do stars, to do snow, to do like glitter, like if you wanted to put some glitter in a little girl's hair or something, or a little whatever, you could use this as glitter. And you would wet it, and then you just dip it down in your paint and you flip it. And with the flipping, you can get all kinds of stars and everything else. So, and then the script liner. Now, this is the one I think comes actually with the packet. There's actually 2. I think this one is I don't know, there's 2 different sizes. I can't remember. One of them has got the longer brushes on there. I think it's maybe be a ½ inch or number. I think they go 1 and 2. I'm not for sure. But this one here, I bought a pack of these again on Amazon. I'm thinking I gave maybe $3 or $4 for them. And I love this one because it's like a pencil, and it really lets you get in there and do the designs and stuff that you want to do. And this one, of course, you can do the same thing with, but this one here, This is the only brush I usually go into water with to make the strokes. And I do vines and everything else with this, like hair. If you are going to do an animal and you want like fur and or like maybe a hair for a lion and stuff like that, or whiskers, this is the brush and stuff that I use for stuff like that. Lastly, now I don't use this very often, but I've got several of these. These are, Jesus, what kind of brushes are they? It's just like I just went blank. I can't think of what kind of brushes these are called. I will come and it'll come to me. But these I use for, and if you notice, they got these are filbert brushes. Thank you, Jesus. These are filbert brushes. There's different sizes of these. Again, I could think I got a whole set for like $9. Now, do you need all these brushes? No, you do not. I use them just because I like to experiment and do different things. Now, when I did my certifications to be certified, I had to do a project using these filbert brushes. And so basically, the filbert brushes are good for angles. And if you want to do, say, like scroll work, like if you wanted to do any kind of scroll work, these are perfect for that. These are good for like I did some initials one time, and these are good to make that angle to begin with. And what's cool is that they'll go flat, but then you could stand them up, and so it gives you those angles. Now I'm going to try to demonstrate some of these, and I don't see any comments, so I pray y'all can see me. And I haven't seen anybody wanting to come in. Let me make for sure. Nope, I don't see anybody wanting to come in. So, um, so I hope you guys can see me. So anyway, I'm just going to get started. I'm just going to use the black paper just because I feel like you might be able to see better with that. Now, I've discussed all my brushes. The paint I use, you guys can use any acrylic paint that you want to use. I use these brands just because they are thicker. They really help me get the strokes and stuff that I want. Okay. So this is multi-surface. So that means I can do tin, wood, I can do canvases, I can do paper, I can do glass, and I can do all of those surfaces with this paint. I can actually do material as well, but I usually like to use an actual paint for material just because like doing shirts and stuff sometimes, it leaves like a stiff background. It's like it's stiff, and I don't particularly care for that. And so I use this for everything else, though pots, wood, rocks, and stuff like that. I do, it's multi-surface paint. You can get this on Amazon. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. You can get it at Walmart. Has it. Michael's. Um, they all have this kind of paint. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some color out here. I planned to tell y'all what kind of brushes I use, but I didn't necessarily plan on what, and I don't. I usually don't plan about what I'm going to actually paint, which is probably not good. Let me see, I want a bright green. And I always have a trash bag beside me. And usually what I like to do, of course, I'm almost out of this paint, is I like to put at least, depending on how much I paint, if I know I'm going to do a big canvas, of course, I'd put out a little bit more paint. But what I like to do is put out a dime size to a quarter, depending on how much, I know that I'm going to do. because I'm doing smaller surfaces. Also, too, if you put out a lot, uh, it will dry out sometimes really, really quick. And well, you would have thought I would have lined out some because it seems like nothing wants to work. Okay, here, this is full. There we go. It's a darker paint. Okay, so I got yellow and I've got, this is called, it's like a lime green. I believe it's called, what is that one called? Usually you can get these, this is called citrus. You can get these actually in a set. And because of that, I said, I'm put me out some white. What else? What else did we want? Maybe some purple. What's saying purple? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're actually going to paint. Yay. So I hope I'm going to turn this one this way. And hopefully you guys can see me. I'm not upside down. That's what I said. I wish you guys could see me. But I haven't seen a comment. I don't know whether you guys are able to see me or not. Let me see. I see me on there, but I don't see any comments whatsoever. Hmm. So, okay, I'm just going to continue on. Hopefully you guys can get the replay and see everything that I'm showing you. So, because it's spring, I thought, okay, I will do, and I know I do a lot of flowers, but to me, there's um, no better thing to do in the spring. I love to do flowers, and it's funny because a lot of times I've taken classes with other people, and they do very well at landscapes and stuff, but they really have an issue sometimes with actually painting flowers. So, oops, I'm sorry. Of course, my trash people decided to okay, first thing I do, I got my paints on. First thing I do, I'm gonna put these right back because I know that I'm going to use this one. I'm gonna use my big flat brush, my 3/4 flat. Get all of these out of the way. Now I said I don't go into water, and I always have my here. I always have I have paper plates and I have paper towels. And what I do is I make for sure that I fold a paper towel and I leave it set beside me all the time. And with that, I'll put my paint on this. With that, because I have not used this brush and it's good and dry, I go into water. I just take that brush and I put it in water. And then look what I do. I just take my thumb and I bend that paper over, and then I just get that excess water out of there. You say, well, why do I do that? Well, for one thing, with these brushes, I use a sharp chisel edge. I want you to see how sharp that is. How See how sharp that is? How there's just one flat, like very, very flat there. Well, if I didn't do that, it would be all fluffy, and I don't want it fluffy. Not when I'm doing like you know flowers or whatever. So what I think I'm going to do, just because I mentioned it, because I don't know that I've ever showed anybody this, I'm gonna just do it with white maybe. Um, I had some chalk, you guys could have, I could have just drew it on there. Make it a lot easier, maybe. I thought I might do. Oh, well, it's going to have to be with the brush. I'm going to go in the water with that. And I'm going to go right here in white, just a puddle. Now, with these brushes, you usually just go to the side and you really, to load that, you go in here and you go to the side of it, and then you take the excess paint out. I roll that and take that excess paint out. So what I thought I'm going to do is I'm just going to, because I mentioned this, I'm going to make just a pot. Just think of it as a big old smile. Okay, I'm going to cover all this up. So I might put some more about here just to make it even. And then look, I'm going to do like a pedestal under here. And then maybe right down here at the bottom, make a big, okay? And then we could do the handles right here. Okay, maybe some lines. We'll do some things right in here. Okay, so since I decided, I mentioned that, I thought this is what I'm going to do. Now, you all see how easy that was? It's like a big smile and a little, sort of like a little rectangle, and then just come to the base. I'm going to cover all the base up. So, okay. Now, with this flat brush, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and like paint that. I believe I am going to do, like I'm going to make like a, I'm going to start with the white. And then I'm just going to pick up a little tiny bit of, I was hoping it would be black. I'm going to do some black, make it gray. Put just a little bit in here. Okay. Also, too, this is a pain, but when you use your, it's got a little teeny tiny hole there, and sometimes that paint will dry and it does not want to come out. And then when you finally get it out, it wants to just shoot a big old wad up in there. We don't want that. Okay. This will be a small little painting, so you're not going to need, I did green, but I'm going to come over here to this black. I'm just going to go right here in the middle. What I did is I tipped that black and I tipped white. I tipped black and I tipped white. And remember, I told you I got that sharp chisel edge. So how I keep that and load this brush is I come over here and I keep those colors separated and I keep loading that brush. Remember how I said it's 3/4 of the way full when it's good and loaded. There was one other thing I have not mentioned. I don't know that I even got it in here. Oh, it's called floating medium. Floating medium is the fluffing paint, basically. Or it's the liquid without the fluff. I'll put it that way. So sometimes if your paint is like really, really thick and it doesn't want to like flow very well, you can add just a little tiny bit of floating medium and it really helps to make that flow. Now I want more of a gray here, so I'm picking up more white and I'm just going to come right over here to this and make almost like a gray. And I actually going to pick up a little bit of green with that too to make it look like it's sort of like a weathered pot. And look here, I got my black on the edge, which is what I want. And I'm just going to start right here and I'm going to start filling it in. And I know because it's black on here, you might not be able to see it. I hope you guys can see me though. I hate that I don't have any comments, so it's telling me that you all probably are not watching me, cannot see me. I got right there and messed that up, but I'm going to keep it that way. Picking me up some green, some more white. Okay. I can see that on that. So I'm just going to come right over here and I'm just filling this in. Okay. Just filling it in. And I can tell right now, we had storms here. So the humidity is like really bad today. And because of that, it's like my paint wants to dry very, very quickly. And when that happens, I do usually put just a drop of floating medium in there. And so basically, I'm just going to continue down where I started. I did that little divot right there. I'm just filling it in right this second, and then and this is really a big brush to use for such a small painting. But I use this brush so much for everything. I'm used to using it. So, but if you need a smaller brush, by all means, a smaller flat, because that way you can get that sharp chisel edge to where you can fill in all these details. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of green, trying to keep track of the time as well. And I'm just gonna sort of go over that just a little bit because I want it to look weathered. And also too, I'm gonna use that green. Notice I got that sharp chisel edge and I'm just coming through here and I'm putting in like little lines where you can see. Now I may go right over at the top. I might make that just a little bit wider right here, although it's going to be covered up. Okay. Now, right here, and make the handles. Again, I've got that sharp chisel edge. I'm just coming down and around and right back up on itself. Okay. Down and around and right back up on itself. Okay. Now I've done these pots on walls, on uh, canvases, different things that I've done these on that, that people really enjoyed and liked. So since I've got this already loaded in green and white, I'm just going to, and black, I think I will go ahead and clean it. I'm going to clean this. And I'm going to go over here to maybe a smaller brush so where you all can see. Okay, I'm going to go with my number 12. My number 12 flat. And I'm going to go right in here. Again, I have to wet that down. So I'm going to just go in here and I'm going to go with some dark green and some of the lime green. Citrus green is the color when you go to, if you was to go and buy specifically this color. And look how I'm doing. I'm double loading again, and I'm getting that flat chisel edge. That flat edge is what's going to help you do your stems, and it's all pressure as to whether or not you get a fat stem or skinny stem. And I'm going to take another piece of paper. Let's see if I got another one here. Yep, I do. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside for a second. And I will show you, because I've got that flat brush. Gonna make sure I load this also 3/4 of the way full. If you don't have the lime green, you can use yellow. Just pick you up some yellow. Okay. Now I'm going to make some stems up in this pot. And so because of that, I wanted to do this flat brush. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the light color, and I'm just going to show you how to make some stems. And again, depending on how much pressure you put on this will depend on how skinny your stem is. Anyone who's painted with me knows that I do this for limbs and trees and, all kinds of stems. Like, just depends on what pressure. So I will probably do, I'm thinking I'm going to do maybe a collage. So I'm going to start off with real light, and it might be harder to see just on this. So this is just a real light touch, and notice how thin. But let me show you. If I wanted it to be thicker, all I have to do is put more pressure on there. Also, too, the thicker the stroke, the more paint it's going to take. So like I said, my paint. So very thin, very thin. I might use a different color just so that y'all could see. And if I want it thick, I start off by making the stroke. I put a lot of pressure on. I go up, and then I sort of turn that to get it back on that chisel edge. Okay? So anyway, what I'm going to do, because I told you that I do moths, and but I'm going to go ahead and do the stems first since I got this brush all loaded. I'm trying to decide what kind of flowers I want to do. So I'm just going to make some stems through here, and I'm going to make them fairly thin. That way it gives me an opportunity to put quite a few flowers on there. And I'm just doing them in different directions. Different sizes. Overlapping some of them. Making some maybe a little bit thicker. And what I like is I'm going to like do some a little bit taller. Okay. And so maybe just a few more that's taller. Just a few more out here that's taller. Okay. Now I'm gonna clean that brush. Oh, let's see what kind of flower we want. Mm, I think I'm just going to go. Um, I do a lot of what I consider wildflowers. Um, I think because I've got the purple, I really like that. I'm going to, I wish I had a, let me see if I got dark purple. Yay. So I got a dark purple and a light purple, which I really, really like. Gives you that contrast of the dark and the light. This is my number 10 flat brush because I just washed my, okay. Now on this stroke, this is what I like to do. Like I go on these stems and I press and I pull, press and pull, press and pull. And I'm just going to go all the way down. I don't know that I'm going to go all the way down the stem. I think I'm going to leave some of that. That way I can work some leaves in there. But it's press. It's like I'm putting pressure and pull, pressure, pull, pressure, pull. And then I just sort of build it out a little bit as I go. Okay. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to mix these colors up so that I have a wild mix here. I went and picked up some more paint. So I'm going to just go, I'll just start right here. Now these stems are just a little bit smaller, so it doesn't take as much pressure. I'm just going to randomly put these in here. Okay. And I'm just going to do pressure. Again, I'm putting, let's see, I like this one leaned over here. And I'm not taking it all the way down. And I'm doing that for a reason, because when I go to put the moss in there, it'll cover all the base of this up. So, let me see, maybe just one more right here. Okay. I'm going to clean that brush. I think I'm going to do some yellow and white. I like yellow and purple. And I'm just going to go right here beside it. Okay, maybe right here. Yeah. I guess we need to get this big fat one over here since I made that stem. Again, I'm just adding pressure. That's all I'm doing. I'm just pressure. It's like pressure and pull, pressure and pull. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys, that I have. So, let me see what else. I want some more. I just like that bright color there. I'm gonna put one more maybe. I think I want some more. Yeah, I like to have some more color. How about some? Okay, I've had to clean that brush, although I've got another one there. I'm just cleaning it. And most of you will have only one set of brushes. So notice I just go into water. I I clean that because I got that thing, that grate down in there to clean it with. And then I just take my finger and I really get that water back out of there. Now, I think this time I'm going to do some, hmm, dark. Okay, I got pink out here. I'll just do the pink and the white. Okay, so I'm just going to go down here, just like I did there. Yes, touch, pull, 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 touch, pull. Okay, touch, pull, 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 touch, pull. Maybe right here in this, some more of that pink in there. Okay, and we can just do, let me see, I might just do just a few more right here. You don't necessarily need to see the stems because we're going to cover all that up. Okay, clean this really quick. Now, I was telling you about my scruffy brush. Now I also have a medium scruffy brush, but I did not bring it. I don't know where it's at. Now, I'm going to start off with like some of this lime green and white. And I'm going to just, now this is, I don't go into water with this brush. Remember, I said it's like a mop. So I don't go into water with it. So basically, when to use this brush, I go right to the side of a puddle and look how it's loading. And I pounce that paint in the bristles because these bristles, these are not like these bristles that are in the mop brushes are really, really soft. The scruffy brush is not. Now you can do this with these with the makeup brushes or the mop brushes as well. But for this thing, I'm just going to, and I'm going to go right in here to the lime, citrus, and I got that white in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start randomly tapping, and then I'm just going to flip it around. And I'm just going to keep randomly tapping it, not like all straight in a row here. I'm even going to bring some out here on this ground. Okay. I like that white in there quite a bit, so I'm going to go pick up some more of that white. Okay. Now, and I know I've got this green in here. I'm not going into. I'm just going to try to get some of that green out. But look, I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to go into some of the dark purple and the light purple. May even go into a little bit of the white with that. And look, I'm going to just go right over top of this. And it's a light touch. I'm not getting, I'm not trying to go crazy with it. I just want to get some more color in here. And just cover up some of this. Okay. Get some more in here. Okay, now I still got that purple and it looks like a light purple now. I'm gonna go right in here with the pink. And look here, just gonna tap that in. I know this is sort of random. And it might be too wild maybe for y'all. I like that deep purple. Like there's some white and pink down here. So even just cover up maybe the base of this. And so I can do that. Mix in some of the green right here as well. Okay. Now, that might be, I might just move up some, like put some up in here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Now, once I do that, I can't go back with that brush. I got another flat brush here. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to, really quick, I'm just going to do some leaves. I did the light green and the dark green. This is probably a number 8, maybe. But look, I'm just going to come right up through here and I'm just going to start making some leaves. And I know that's, I might have to go a little lighter with that so y'all can see. Maybe do a little, maybe you can see. I can do some leaves up in here. Okay. And I go ahead and put my stems in when I'm doing that. Coming over here, I'm sorry, you guys can see. I'm doing the, why do I double load? Because it gives you the shading and the highlighting in one stroke. That's why I double load with 2 or 3 colors at a time. Okay. So look here, I can come right up here and make some leaves. I'm going to do some vines right here too, to where you have, I'm going to go right here and see, I like to turn my project around so that I can get what I need to get. Look here, I'm just going to make some vines through here. And when I do, because that's dark or because it's light there, I'm just really going to pick up some. Now, look how I got that all gooped up. What do? I don't go into water with that. I just grab it and I clean it off with that paper towel. And I come right back over here and I load fresh. Okay. I might actually, look here. Okay, so I want that darker green to show up right here. And so right here, maybe some right here. Just some more stems stuck out where I can actually add a few more leaves. And there's, okay. And right here, same thing. You can, like I said, you could turn your project upside down if it makes it easier for you to do. Which to me, it does make it easier because I can just go in the direction I want to go. And notice I'm having to come back here and pick up paint every time I go through there. And I'm putting my stems and stuff in as I go. To make these leaves, I'll show you what I'm doing. It's like I'm standing that brush straight up. I got that sharp chisel edge. Notice I'm standing that brush straight up on the edge. I'm putting pressure on it. And as I put pressure on it, I turn that in my fingers and it comes to a point. I need some, so put some pressure. I'm turning it to a point. Pressure, turning to a point. Maybe you guys can see that necessarily. Pressure, turning it to a point. Okay. So, and then I put my stem in when I do that, because if I don't, I'm never going to have that same color. so, so anyway, so pressure, and then I put my stem in. Okay. So I'm just going to put a few more through here. And some of this I don't necessarily have to put a stem in because I've already put the stems in there. But I wanted it to. Okay. So let me see. I think I want some more. I'm just going to do really, really quick. I'm going to use one of my little snipper brushes here. And I'm going to go right into white. And I just want to tap that in just a little bit with this little mop brush. I'm not wetting it. I just want to go into a little bit of white here. Just because I just think it almost looks like some baby breath sometimes. Okay. I'm going to go up in here a little bit more. You got to add some more through here. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I like to go. This is my script liner. I do have water in it. And I will add water. And right out to the side of my puddle, I'm making like a little inky puddle of green. Anytime I use a script liner, that's usually, I always make it really thin, almost like an inky puddle. And look at here. I'm just going to do some curly cute. I need some, maybe to lighten it up just a little bit. Just because I'm on black. If you was doing it on just a regular canvas, you wouldn't have to. Or maybe I could do that. Let's see. And I'm just going to go through here and make some little curly cues. Some wild little vines. I just like to do that. Okay. So it's that simple. And then I come over here. I always make for sure that I sign. And I usually always use my script liner to sign. It just makes it easier. So I hope, I know that's sort of like, that's a lot. But I just wanted to show you how quickly it is to do a painting. I mean, I've been an hour, right? Let's see what time it is. And I hate that I hope I am live and that you got, oh my gosh, I did not record this. It will be recorded live there, hopefully. I did not record on my computer. So hopefully it recorded live in that Facebook so you guys could have it. So love you all. Thank you, ladies, so very much for all of the prayer and everything that you guys have showed me and given to me and lifted up for me. I so appreciate it. And I'm gonna flip my camera back around. So I love you so very much. And I hope that this went live and that you guys can see it and do it. And just reach out to me if you have any problems, if you have any questions. That's what these Technic Tuesdays are for. If you have suggestions that you want me to um, show you, and just know I'm learning all the time too. So, I might be able to, I might be able to paint what you want me to paint, but I may not, but I will try. So if y'all would just make suggestions of what you want to learn how to paint, and I will do my best to either learn it myself and teach you, or we'll learn it together. How about that? So love you, ladies, very much. And I will see you